Yo guys, welcome to Crypto MC. My name is Rudo. I'm a full-time stay-at-home crypto trader and investor, and this is the Trade for a Living podcast. We're going to be looking at BTC. As I explained at the beginning of the week, I expect price to kind of grind back down to the 65k level thereabout. And I shared a few interesting targets, and it's now done that. The reason why I think that that's important is, as I showed you guys in the last streams, not all 65s are created equal. Up until now, 65 has been almost like the joint in a balancing beam, where price is kind of either above it or below it, either above it. But when it gets above it and it comes back down to test it, it has failed many times now and then turns it into resistance. So this is the last attempt, or the current attempt, for us getting above 65. And now we're trying to test that. Now, the first attempt at testing it really ended up well. So during the night, we had an insane push to the upside. And yeah, so that's why I said consider going longs here. I myself went long. I went long with everybody in the Discord yesterday. Frustratingly so, I ended up getting taken out by this little bugger right here at the bottom. Sucks. So it sucks, but that's trading. Okay. So while we're on this, we're trying to get everything ready, guys. Just make sure that you kind of plan your things around that. Okay. That it's gonna, it could potentially come right back, and hopefully then we'll get our entry. Okay, so for the rest of the day, let's just quickly have a look at, before we move on, what everybody else is kind of looking at. So from Kingfisher liquidation heat maps, we're kind of looking at around a 64,000 area where the liquidation stops. So there's a big area there, or a big pool of liquidation sitting at 64. Now, if I correlate that over with the point and figure chart, 64 means that price, according to Kingfisher heat maps, could actually go as low as 60, the second point and figure gap. So I'm going to give the market the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, maybe it visits that area as well. So let's take away the cross mark that I said and say that there's the potential that we're going to go there. We have not quite gone to 64,800, which is where I think the personal sweet spot's going to be. And this means that this low could potentially get swept. Now, technical analysis, as I always say, is just us trying to measure the risk. But if I look at this on a 4-hour time frame, and I ask myself something honestly, what would a TA or, the rest of us want to see in order to say that this is the bottom? It's the tricky thing is, sweep that low would really be bullish in a way, or grind sideways a little bit, build a base, then give us a demand zone buy before we go. That would typically be, structures I would expect to see that there's a bottom. But the market can also, an example of that is just this, it sweeps to these areas, pumps nicely. Everybody thinks we're ready to go, and then it sweeps the low and then runs away. So it could be that it now needs to go sweep that low and run away. So higher time frames, I don't really have a good move. Now, Michael from the pop as well, or I hope I'm saying it right, Michael, has also had the same area kind of targeted of where he was thinking liquidity was going to go towards. But yet again, remember, these kind of charts, guys, although very nice to look at, you can't trade that information because you need an invalidation. You need an area where you would put your stop. But it's nice to see that he's also looking at it. And the interesting thing, what he's saying is he's expecting all-time highs in 2 to 4 weeks. It kind of runs part to what I'm thinking as well, because where we are now, that larger time frame buy sitting around 64,300, if we can get that 64,800, if we can get that tag and a good run, we will break out and the market will get surprised, and we could squeeze into a new all-time high territories pretty soon. Remember, the sweet spot all-time high analysis, for those looking for your alts, is simple. BTC needs to go get that higher high locked in. 64 is massive resistance at the moment. And funny enough, it's where we were the last time around, 60s So it's just a psychological barrier. But when we do that, then we're very close to alt season. You're kind of in the middle of the blue band, in the middle of the blue band where we are, one more month or so, and then alt season. So yeah, something to consider. Another thing that is really bullish at the moment, Martini Guy posted this. What do we have? We've got BTC positive ETF inflows. This is a really good thing. So if money is looking at getting in, that's really great. So that can help drive that all-time high within the next 2 weeks. Supply gets taken in. And here's just a kind reminder, and it's true. As we have elections, the market could be very volatile and choppy. And the easiest way to explain this is just this. If I zoom out and we look at the daily time frame, you can see that when we're in this band, you have this scenario where the market will sweep through it, then run, sweep through it, then dump, sweep through it, then dump. So sorry, my mouse is jumping around again. Let's just delete that. It will sweep through it and then dump, go through it, sweep through it, then dump. So it's an interesting level. And what this basically means is it's extremely hard for us traders to buy this zone. So if you get taken out a couple of times, you almost need to say that you're in the right area, because it's going to do this until you get that one last move that just runs. So you have to be vigilant within the next few days, maybe even the next few weeks, because it will probably test us and make us very frustrated before it runs. Okay. Last little thing before I head over to the comment section. This is from Benjamin saying that looking at Ethereum, he sees that there might be a lower low. And this is almost like a cautionary tale. So if I bring up ETH in a way, this is the buy zone that I had for Ethereum. And yet again, TA is TA. Once you do it enough, you start. A lot of the times we see the same things, different strategies, different ways to get to the same answer. And then when you're like yesterday for me, when you're in the majority and there's nobody else taking the other side losing, you the one loses. So TA tends to fail then. So you might have a beautiful drawn setup with a nice invalidation and a high probability it's going to play out, but high probabilities will fail. So that's basically what I mean by TA is going to fail. So looking at Ethereum, the one thing that I almost don't want to see, guys, and this is something that the starting point for the next stream we're going to be talking about, is that I'm not expecting Ethereum. And if it does, I will be surprised to go sweep and make a lower low. I almost want to say that in order for the market to almost be caught off guard, you need a rally. This greed just needs to be supported by more price action to the upside, just to bring that emotional market cycle thing in there where, everybody's still kind of on the fence. Is this going to fail? Is it not going to work? You need to bring almost this optimism in where people start feeling, hey, the rally is real, it's going to move, or hope, and that's why I'm thinking, just be mindful of things like this. And fractals that tell you that, there's going to be lower. Fractal is an amazing thing. I use them a lot. But in the end of the day, a fractal is only as good as long as it remains valid. Okay. So things to consider, guys. October is real. We've got 65K needs to be support. And in short, the bears will attack 65K. So we can get these sweeps through. And that's typically what we call scam weeks. So I'm warning you about the scam weeks. And I still personally think that 64,800 would be a really good area. And around that time, I will really be bullish on the alts. Okay. So that's it. Let's quickly go to the comments and see what we've got here. Let's see who we've got here. Good morning, Amanda, Yoza, Chris, goeiemorgen. Stanko, LTech guys, thanks for joining in. Gold being at all-time highs. Does it mean that people are expecting something bad in the market? Yes, but not bad necessarily in the sense that shit's going to fall to pieces bad. It's bad in the sense that I'm missing out. So let's bring up the Dixie real quick, and I just want to share this with you guys. The Dixie is at the moment at a resistance level. Okay. And if you're looking at this chart, what would be the next saying? Well, the Dixie clearly is failing to make higher highs. For the last 10 years, obviously, it's been moving up nicely, but it's been trending down since forever. Okay. And it's true, the dollar keeps on losing value. If that is the case, what does it mean for gold? If you're expecting that the Dixie is in this area, you're going to start buying gold instead of dollars, because then you know the Dixie is going to go through another phase where it's going to slip. So maybe this is why, they say always every cycle is different, but maybe from a macro point of view, we're in that scenario where we're at that resistance range, and now is maybe the time for the Dixie, because if it breaks through that trend, that support line, you can have a Dixie that sells off for the next few years. America goes through a massive internal strife, the US elections, whatever the case might be. That uncertainty means that people would say, look, I've made a lot of money, I want to secure that. And why not just now, excuse my English, and now where we didn't have it in the past, there's a Bitcoin alternative as well. And yeah, maybe there will be a super cycle. Maybe Bitcoin will go 120, 220. I don't know. We'll take it level by level. But it could mean that, if the Dixie starts really losing favor, which it's not, it's at resistance, a good place to start losing favor and dropping. Things like gold, things like silver, your metals. I mean, metals, aluminium was pumping yesterday. I was looking at the metals, they're all doing great. So these things will go through phases where the money is going to go look for that and then look for the next thing and hopefully look for Bitcoin and crypto and alts as well. Okay, so that's kind of on par there. Well done, well spotted. Thanks, guys, for taking the time. That's everything that I have for you today regarding this stream. This afternoon, we'll be looking at some alts. I'll do some additional charting. And that's it. So do me a solid. If you found the content helpful and information useful, give me a like, give me a comment as well, and retweet and share the video. Let's help grow the community. And that's it. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye. I'll keep hustling.
Subscribe now.